Hello, this is Karen Maxwell with Plano ID Exchange, and I do have Gabi Lockhart waiting in the wings. She's just finishing up with a phone call. So every Wednesday at noon Central Standard Time, we come to you live on a podcast to discuss the issues that we're having or the wins that we've experienced or anything that you need help with, real estate investing related. So we are hoping that, Gabi, are you done? You ready? You ready?
Hi.
There you are. Okay. I knew that you had to finish that call up, so I just
Yeah.
zapped you out for a second. So,
Appreciate it.
well, we have we had our wonderful expo this past weekend,
Oh, it was amazing.
and yes, it was absolutely amazing. And I spoke at the Real Impact Tyler meeting, or Lindell Tyler meeting last night, and
Linda.
there were 4 people there that were at the expo this weekend. And I'm hearing such good things about the expo and just the connections that were made. I know that you're working with Byers and Taylor on some refinances for a client, and
In
that's awesome.
purchase.
I'm sorry,
Purchases.
purchases. Okay, awesome, great. And so I'm super excited about the way it all worked out. I know that a couple of the businesses are going into some partnerships together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super excited about that. And what about you? What kind of things have you had that this week from the expo? I know you talked with a lot of people.
I have. I was amazed how the positive feedback I got. I've been working with a title company with Byers and Taylor, and they're an amazing company.
Mm-hmm.
So they resolved one of my issue that I had with one of my refinances. So I'm excited on that one. And I negotiated the price down to half of it, so that is really exciting. So it's so nice to have that connection and that face to face and making that happen. And then I was able to brainstorm with one of the attendees
Mm-hmm.
yesterday and making a pathway to see how we can help her to get started and how to make it happen. And that's basically giving Tanya Hickman more business.
Yep.
And then I was talking with Tanya this morning. I haven't even had a chance to talk to you about it. And I gave her a
I
referral.
can't hear y'all.
You
You
can't
can?
hear us, Terry? We can hear you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
can you
can.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we had so basically I was able to give her a lead to maybe get another BMI partner.
Oh, good.
And I spoke with that person already, and she's super excited. And so I connected those two people together. So it's so nice to see how you can merge people and put people together and make it work
Connect.
and
Connecting climbers.
connecting clients. And that was our goal was for the Dream Team Expo is to connect people with each other.
Yes.
And what we're doing now is basically follow-ups on how we can use like what you did yesterday. You did a hands-on um,
Yes. Um,
something.
I
And I'm
used Backflip Live at the meeting last night and showed them how it worked. I had a couple questions I needed to talk to JJ about because some things weren't quite coming up the way they should have been, in my opinion. But it could have very well been. Let's try that again. Terry, can you hear us now?
I can hear you. I've kind of got bad reception. I'm sitting in my car.
Okay.
okay, that's
Can you hear
possible.
me okay?
We
Yes,
can
we
hear
can,
you.
Okay.
we can hear you. Yes, yes. I
Um,
think it was great that you did that yesterday. I think that's awesome.
yes, absolutely. The deal that I was analyzing wasn't a deal. We're about $30,000. No, yeah, $35,000 difference from where an investor would need to be to buy the property to hold as a rental
Hmm.
versus where he's at price wise.
Right.
So it was really good. And actually, one of the attendees, Dave Dean, actually sold one of the properties that was on the list of comps, and he knows the area very well. And I think he actually said I think he might have said he actually lives in that neighborhood. So he had the opportunity to tell people, hey, I'm a real estate agent that works with investors, and I know this area very well. So if you have a question about a property, or if you're considering a property, I don't mind running those numbers for you to make sure that you're not making a mistake, because it turned out that this house that we were looking at was the largest home in the neighborhood. So when you're buying the largest house, you have to discount that because it doesn't go with the rest of them. So I found that very interesting. So it was very valuable to have him there. He also brought us a list of, I think, 7 duplexes that are on the market they're in Longview, Tyler, Longview, Tyler, Gilmer, and maybe that was it. But when they listed the properties online, they didn't mention how much the income was. And that's one of the first things that we look at whenever we're considering buying a property. If it has a tenant in it, I need to know how much he's paying.
Mm-hmm.
If you're inheriting tenants, that's a concern. So I asked him a few questions. He said that he would get me the information. I was hoping to announce that we had a contract on the little house in Gladewater, but I haven't gotten confirmation that we actually have. So let me ask again. Lydia, how about you? Do you have anything going on?
Yeah, I just closed on a little going to be rental.
Good.
So that
Where is it?
It's in southern Dallas County near the VA hospital.
What city?
It's Dallas. It's Oak Cliff.
It's Oak Cliff. Okay. The one that I was talking about whenever you came on was in Cedar Hill.
I love Cedar Hill.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was interested to look at it. He posted it on Facebook, and I asked him to send me the information, but it actually I have 2 different properties mixed up, Gabi.
You do?
Yes. Where did the one from Cedar Hill go? That was a different property.
I don't know.
Oh, you know what? It was sent to me yesterday while I was driving, and I wasn't able to pull up comps on Backflip, and I was driving. So obviously I didn't have my MLS access. So
I'm glad you didn't do it, because you need to drive and not focus on doing anything else, okay? Safety is important.
Correct. No, I was sitting at a stop sign. At a stoplight.
That's what they do. Sorry. You're crazy.
So I'll have to find that. Remind me to find that whenever I get off here.
Okay, I'm gonna write
because I really like Cedar Hill. I'll write myself a note on my little fancy notepad here from Texas Independent Insurance that I won at the Denton meeting. Cedar Hill. So I like Cedar Hill. As far as what I see whenever I'm, looking around, it seems like a pretty good market. But I don't have any idea if it's a deal or not, so I have to look at it. You got anything else you're working on, Lydia?
Yeah, I've got 2. One that I took a look at over a week ago, and it's an old home. It's southeast of Fair Park, so it's not quite Fair Park. It's a little past what people would consider Fair Park in Dallas. It's gorgeous. It's got the 10-foot ceilings and plaster walls, and it has been run down and beat up, but the bones of it are still really good. And
that's in Fair Park?
That's near Fair Park.
Okay.
And
so from what I understand about the Fair Park area is that the cost is low, but the Airbnb rates are super high.
Yeah. So this one's got tenants.
Okay.
And I would keep the tenants because they're paying about $2,000 a month. And I mean, it needs tons of work. If I were to empty it out and do everything, it'd be $60,000 to $80,000.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that. I want to keep the tenants who've been there like 5 years and don't want to move and do it in pieces. So, start with the stuff that they're not happy with and then start doing the stuff that I'm not happy with a little at a time.
Right. So the things that they're not happy with, is it something that are they? Is it going to? Hey, Ryan. Ryan's watching.
Cool.
So the let me check my text message. Oh, we have a signed contract.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want to go. So ready to be done with those. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited about that though. Lydia, the things that the tenant is not happy about, is it going to increase the value of your property?
Oh, yes.
Good.
Yeah.
And it's going to fit within the budget, and you're still going to cash flow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's it's a pretty solid piece of cash flow with doing the repairs. And doing it incrementally is a great way to do it.
Yes.
The stuff that can be done. I mean, eventually I'm going to have to do, redo the floors, in which case it's going to have to be vacant.
Yeah.
But the seller, and here's the main reason I wanted it: seller finance.
Oh,
Even better.
Great.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask how you
Now the seller is getting a little cold feet. So I'm not dealing directly with the seller. It's through a wholesaler, which is one of the disadvantages of working with a wholesaler. So they were going to do $500 a month for 5 years, 0 interest. And their attorney is like, "Are you crazy? What are you thinking?" So, I made a couple different possible counter offers, and they haven't heard since. So there's that.
So is this, do you feel like the wholesaler is making the seller uncomfortable?
No, I think the seller has 2 properties they're trying to get rid of. And this is one of them. And I think seller finance was maybe not their first choice. So now it might be something to kind of sit on for a minute and wait for the seller to start needing money more.
What about the other property they're trying to sell?
I'm not interested in that one.
And why is that?
It's a so-so deal for a rental, which is mostly what I'm buying right now. Because my wife retires at the end of the year. So I want to get as many rentals on and refinanced under her W-2 income.
But you have to be careful. You have to be careful on that, Lydia. If the lender knows that she is going to retire, then they're going to go on the retired income, not on the current income.
Gotcha. I think the retired income is still going to be pretty solid because some of the rental income applies to her as well. So
yeah, but sometimes on the rental analysis, it's sometimes it's only 75%. They take 20. I mean, there's a different calculation on that part, so you need to be careful. Sometimes it might be better to do a DSCR loan and go on cash flow, and it does not. You may have better options on that one.
Cool. Awesome.
You have to look at it from a different perspective sometimes. Just saying, because I am a loan officer, and that's just one thing you have to keep in mind. Because you have to have calculation in on the next income for the next 3 years, calculated, guaranteed.
Yeah, for sure. So,
yeah, and Gabi,
good to know. I hadn't thought that. I hadn't thought about that, so that's good to know.
And Gabi has some programs available that you wouldn't actually have to refinance, right, Gabi? So you can buy it. You can buy it.
Yeah, for the DSCR, we do not go on your personal income. We're just going to go on the rental income.
Yep, clear.
And then she wouldn't have to refinance it out, right?
You don't have to refinance it out, no. It's a 30 or 40-year fixed
Oh, nice.
loan, and if you want to, you can do the 10-year interest only on both. So basically, there are 3 or 4 loans how you can do it. You can do just a 30-year rate and term, and you don't have the interest only part. Or if you struggle with the interest, with the principal and interest, because you don't qualify for it, then we can do the interest only payment for 10 years, and then we can make it that way work. So there's a lot of ways how you can structure the DSCR loans to make them work for your need. And if they also have a special program just for Airbnb, a special calculation loan.
Oh, nice.
So
I have a friend who would be really interested in that.
Yeah, we do have those loans, and so I mean, they're coming up with so many interesting loans and so many interesting calculations and stuff. It's really, really good. And you can also refinance some of those out. And we don't look at your income. We don't look at anybody's income. We're just looking straight on the rental income based on the 1007. That's the appraisal analysis on rental income. Sometimes you just hit 1007, 1004. 1004 is the appraisal. Those are those lingos that we loan officers throw out there, because it's easier to say, yeah, you need a 1007 and a 1003 and a 1004. Like,
I'll learn them. I mean, I never knew what a 1099 was, or
I know you just go over your head. And so sometimes we have to, close ourselves out and go, okay, you need to explain that better. So
I used to get W-2, W-4, and W-9 mixed up.
Like, me too.
What am I? Do I need a W-2 or W-4? What am I asking for?
Yeah.
So, I think I finally got all that figured out. But that's why you hire people to handle that for you.
Yes, but those are the options that you have on those properties. Even if if that one property that you're having is seller finance and they give you 1 or 2 years, then it's gonna cash flow already. And then basically you can do the DSCR loan as a refinance, and you don't even have to do a cash out, but you can do a cash out also on top of it.
Nice.
Yeah. Just got notified if you do a purchase on a DSCR and you have the credit score and everything, they go up to 85%.
Cool. Awesome.
And then what about, you were telling me last week, we were talking last weekend at this past weekend at the expo about the short-term rental loans that the investor that you have that invest in.
That's the Airbnb. Yes,
Airbnb.
that's the Airbnb. Basically, also if you want to purchase a house and you want to start an Airbnb and you don't have the experience, but if there's an Airbnb close by that is making profit, then they can basically rely on that other profit Airbnb, making sure that
especially if you use someone like PMI.
Yes.
Because what I love about PMI is that they have the 50 some odd platforms that I
think it's 78 or 90.
Oh my gosh, that's even more than I thought. I was always thinking 52, but all those different platforms, and they built the software to handle the scheduling. So if someone books it on Airbnb for Tuesday and then somebody else has booked it on VRBO for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then as traveling nurses coming in on Saturday to stay for a month, it's on all those platforms at the same time. So your bookings get that much more exposure rather than Airbnb.
Yeah, and the nice thing is also if if the booking happens, it removes it from all the other platforms like this.
Right.
So you don't have a double booking, because if you do it yourself, you can have a double booking in a heartbeat. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and that will give anybody
yes.
We are on the weekly call.
I have a friend, Gabi, who is doing really, really well with Airbnb. So,
Mhm.
and he's looking to expand. So I'll see if I can connect the two of you.
That would be great. I would love to
Yeah.
help her out and see how we can make that work and that she's going to get more successful with it.
Cool.
Yes, I'm always making sure they're successful and,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He's a he actually, but it just makes me so happy that you would just assume she. Because for so many years, right? Someone said doctor, you picture
As
a
I was sitting
male,
right here thinking,
pilot,
Tyler's the
looking a
only guy
man.
here.
Pardon?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Tyler, what about you? What do you have going on? You're on mute.
The
Something
the
good.
the best thing that happened is I just got approved for my DBA. So now I am officially
Yay.
legally Mockingbird Solutions.
Yes.
Um,
Throw that up there. Where's Mockingbird Solutions on my ticker here?
so that's
All right,
pretty
let's talk about
fantastic.
Mockingbird Solutions.
So right now I'm still working on some of the infrastructure for what I'm working on for the products I want to serve, but we're going to be looking at having websites that make it easy to create highly converting SEO. So you'll rank high in your Google searches,
Yeah.
and then hopefully generate leads from that as well. And it's going to be a small alternate to Carrot. Carrot does a great job on creating these websites that have all this content on them already. And it is highly converting and good content, but it's cookie cutter.
Yes.
So you can go to any site, top 10 sites in Google, they're all Carrot sites, and you can tell because they
All
feel the
exactly
same
the same.
way. All the writing is exactly the same. And
I can
so
recognize
we're
one
trying
like
to help
that.
with that. Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a much cheaper option as well. So for someone that's just getting into it, I think that you're going to be very happy with this. One of the things that we're trying to do is I could be someone that would come in and write content for you, or we could hire someone to do that for you. But the challenge with that is that we would just have the same person writing this content all the time.
The same people.
And then you would end up with maybe not cookie cutter content, but it would all feel generally the same because you have the same set of writers that are doing all the same content, right? So the direction that I'm going with this to help you generate that content is that we're going to create guides with how-tos and questions that'll prompt you and assist you with creating that content for your site and assist you with creating that content with high SEO words, and that'll help make your site stand out.
Yeah, that's great. So I need some help. I'm wanting to I'm wanting to do away with one of my sites, but I want to move the content that I've spent so much time over the last 3 years building over to my other site. But I'm paying for these two sites, but I'm not paying for the one that I want to keep. So I need to buy that, move it, cancel, and merge them into one.
Yep.
And
that's something I can help with.
And then you mentioned that I don't have to use GoDaddy. You've got cheaper alternatives. So I'm like, why do I literally have them all open right now? And I was going to ask them. And then I'm like, no, Tyler said that he could do that much cheaper alternatives, because a website is not something that you use all the time, but you want it working in the background.
Yep.
And I was looking, I've had I don't know, I haven't even been on this site, and I think I've had, where did it say? Dashboard. Oh, that's the wrong one. Dashboard. I mean, I've had visitors to this site and I haven't even had it out there. So I'm getting I've had 2,295 visitors, but my score presence is only 52. But on my other one that I want to do away with, I don't even know. It doesn't show it on here. It doesn't show my score. But anyway, if I'm gonna redo stuff, I'm gonna scrap some stuff and I'm gonna have to rebrand. And so I might as well do that all at the same time. And what I'm going to miss is my email. But moving it all to realimpactplano.com is where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
So anywho, so it doesn't work for me just to redirect. I've got it redirected, but I need to, but then I don't want to redirect this one to this one because I'm doing away with that one.
Right.
So, and we might as well do that whenever we're doing our, creating our new CRM, which is what Ashley was just asking me about. Ashley, I didn't get a chance to read your whole message. I just saw you ask a question, and then I let you know that we were in here so that you could find us. Okay, so I know that we do this, and I invite everybody into the StreamYard, and then it's live on YouTube for like Ryan, who was here earlier watching, but I guess he's dropped now. But I wanted to let y'all know that it's still beneficial because people can watch it later. And as we heard this weekend, Gabi and I, about everybody kept walking up to us telling us that they've seen us. I feel like I know you. I see you on the Sunday night calls. But sometimes it doesn't feel like it's beneficial, but it is. Just hearing a conversation that Lydia and Gabi just had, Ashley, do you want to be in the call or do you just want to listen? If you can go to the private chat and let me know, I'll bring you back in. But I feel like I keep bringing you in and you keep dropping, and maybe you just don't want to be on the video. And I'm fine with that, but you can still hear us. But anyway, just listening to the conversation between Lydia and Gabi, that is helpful to a lot of people when they watch it on the replay. So I just want y'all to know that it's something that we struggle with on our Sunday night calls because sometimes we feel that way. It's like we only have 5 or 6 or 8 people watching live, but then they get to watch the replays. So just wanted to point that out.
No, it was really interesting. Yesterday, I talked to Ashley for a while, and we were brainstorming and stuff. And I said, afterwards, I said, I'm fishing. She said, yeah, I can tell you're fishing. And because I was looking for her niche program, I was looking for what she is directly looking for. And that's, I think, the uniqueness of a loan officer that really knows how investing works, what their strengths is, in which direction they could go, should go, maybe go, whatever, or not at all.
Yes.
And the same thing with a realtor, or, that they work together with the team. And I love our mentors. So I have to say that our mentors are just helping so much with getting you really into a deeper relationship with us, because they can really they can give you so much ideas and so much training on it that you're really going to know, wow, I thought I really like this, but honestly, this is so much better.
Yes.
Because you don't even think that way. Yes, you come to our meetings, you learn about one thing and you learn, we get excited, but it's not really your passion. And if you don't go after your passion, what you like,
yes,
you're gonna get so sidetracked. Like my example is, I do a lot of things with credit, right? Credit score doesn't work. I rescore, I do this and I do this and I know all that stuff. And really got frustrated with my credit repair companies way back. And so they got on vacation and I never got on vacation because I never got my loans back. And I got really frustrated. So I thought I got the opportunity to start my own credit repair company. And you know what? I noticed it's not my niche. It's not my compassion. It's not what I do best. And I just dropped it and got back to what I'm called to do. Help people finding the right loan for the right system. And then I was able to expand more, becoming a broker and having all those loan programs. And I'm amazed on myself sometimes with what idea I come back with. I'm like, So,
well, and you're a problem solver.
Yes, I'm a problem solver.
That's what we focus on. We focus on solving people's problems.
Exactly.
And, whether you're I can't fix audio visual problems though, because I have those on my own sometimes. So. That's why Ashley dropped off. She said, and Terry dropped off because they couldn't. They kept getting kicked out, and they couldn't hear. So
Yes.
they'll work it out and join us on the next one, hopefully. So.
Yes, but I mean that's a nice thing. What we just do is impact. But impact us in. I mean, what Dennis is teaching us is basically you're a problem solver. You're gonna attack. You're gonna address the problem and see how you can resolve it. You give options to people, and people can take it or leave it.
Right.
And that's what I like about it, and that's what we are skilled to do. I mean, we really are trained on that. And that's what I like. And I challenge myself, and I challenge myself every day. And Karen and I, we brainstorm every morning at least 30 minutes. So,
one thing that Dennis talks about is for people that don't. So with your business, you look at credit, experience, and money. So if they don't have money, they don't have credit, they don't have experience, they can't very well go in and buy a property with a loan. Now, you absolutely can with seller financing. You absolutely can. You can get into a house with no money and no credit and no experience. Okay.
Well, you can with the DSCR loan, but you're going to pay a higher interest rate. You're having a higher risk.
And so there's no minimum on the credit score on that?
620.
Okay, so if they have bad credit, no money, no experience, they can't.
I still have a loan program, but you're gonna pay.
You're gonna pay. Okay.
You're gonna pay. So you have to have the money at least, yes.
So like with Keisha, what Keisha and I talked about, she wanted more, was trying to get more experience and try to find properties. And if the deal didn't work for her, or she didn't want the deal, she could wholesale it to make quick cash. And I was hoping to have her on the call last week so that we could celebrate that, but she got a buyer. So she got it under contract last week. Oh gosh, the days are running into each other. I know I helped her with her contract.
I think it was Monday, and on Tuesday she got in contract.
She actually got it under an option the week before. And then I wanted her to come on last week and talk about the getting it, having a property, having a deal, let's sell your deal. And before she could come on Wednesday, she got it under contract with the buyer over the weekend. And then we had to do an amendment. We couldn't get into the property. And then, so now he's paid his earnest money and he's ready to close. The title company was giving him some issues, saying it was going to take 3 to 4 weeks because it's out of county. And so we considered moving it. And she said, no, I don't want to move it. They've already started it. And that may just cause another delay. What if I move it? And then that title company says, oh, you're right. It is going to be 3 to 4 weeks. And now we had to start over. So that's what we are. So she's super excited about that. And I wish that she could be on because she's going to make, I think she's going to make 5,000. It was going to be 10, but then when he went and looked at it, there was a tarp over the roof. And to our knowledge, it had been fixed, but she couldn't get a hold of the seller in time to find out why the plastic was there. So she just agreed to go ahead and drop the price to reflect that. And it was funny because that was the original price that he started with. So he got his price. But she's happy. She's not as happy as she was, but she's happier than she was before. And she'll make a little bit of money, put some money in her pocket. So she's super excited about that. And I wish that she was on so that she could tell us that. But I'm here to tell you, I talk to the girl often. She's very excited.
That's exciting. Talking about the title companies. So I really like Buyers and Taylor because they are really good to work with. They are on top of the spot and giving you answers back in a really short period of time. The title companies, that if they would tell you that it takes 3-4 weeks, that is a great possibility because some areas in Texas they have the monopoly in keeping basically the records of the county. So especially Wichita Falls is one of those. So basically, if Buyers and Taylors wanted to do a closing here in Wichita Falls, they would have to go to a local title company to get the title work done, and they're going to be on the back burner. Yeah,
and that's pretty much what they said at this one title company she was using. But the other one said, no, we can get it done faster than that. If it's just a lot in block, we can get it done faster than that.
Right.
So I'm not sure. And it's only been, they just sent the title work over a week ago.
Yes.
Yeah, just sent it over a week ago.
Right.
So, we're not going to get upset too much yet, but they're just waiting. Right now, they're just waiting. There's nothing they can do. They're just waiting. So that may very well be the case. I mean, it's Russ County, so.
It is. And it is, I mean, a lot of the big lenders, like on the mortgage side, I have one lender, he has his own title company or his own title referral thing. Haven't used it yet, but you don't have to have a title policy, but they do take the risk and everything for it. Not sure if I like that too much or not, but it's out there that you don't have to so much on closing costs anymore.
So who takes the risk?
The lender takes the risk on it, I think. I don't know exactly how that works because
He doesn't require a title policy?
Yeah, they don't require a title policy.
Interesting.
And yeah, I think that's interesting.
Kind of risky. I mean, it's not your risk; it's his risk. But
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to promote that. I mean, they give us the option. I think a title policy is really important.
Yeah,
I do too. I heard one title company even talking that you should, if your house the value goes up, you should also improve update your title policy, and they do it for low cost. Just to make sure that you have the coverage. I guess it covers the value of the house. There's some kind of value on that too. That might be a good question for Misty to come and speak about.
Yeah, let's.
I just thought about it. Just popped in my head, so I don't know why, but it did.
I didn't even know that was a possibility.
I didn't know it either, but there was one time something happened. It was since I go to the chamber meetings, and we had one of the title companies talk about it, and he was mentioning there was an issue on the property that was they had a title policy, and the title policy was not able to cover the whole claim because the value of the house had gone up. Like I said, don't call me on it. I'm not working for the title company. But I just remember there's a story behind it why you should keep an updated title policy.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Something to look into. Definitely.
Speaking of that is something that has come up quite a few times. Not for me personally, but I've read about several horror stories on things going wrong and trying to file the claim with the title company. Like one of them, the lawyer passed away. And it's like, well, the lawyer, if you got a title policy, the lawyer would have had to hire a title company, and that title company was owned by somebody else, or it was a whole bunch. There was a whole bunch of different things that have happened. And the biggest problem was, how do they file a claim? If the title company that messed up, or that was, that you bought your title insurance through, won't talk to you about it because they messed up, or that you're coming back to make a claim on it, how do you force that claim? And that's what everybody said.
Talk to a real estate attorney and make that happen.
Yeah, thank God it wasn't mine, but yeah, it was they were big messes, and that's what everybody was saying. Well, file a claim with your title, file your title insurance, title insurance. And she said, but that was the problem, that they wouldn't talk to her to be able to, because they said you have to get a claim, file the claim, get the paperwork from the title company. And it's like, number one, why should I do your paperwork?
I think there's a special division in the title company who does that. It's not the title company itself. You may have to go to the title policy, who is who originated it, and go to them.
Gotcha.
I think that's what it works like. It's like an insurance policy. So, but I think title policy is really important on a property because it does give you the security that there's not some kind of a relative out there that can file a claim against it.
On the title, yeah.
And
so
it also,
we only ever had one guy that didn't want a title policy, and he wanted to close the deal without a title policy. And we made him sign a waiver that he knew. I mean, he was insisting on no title policy. So we would just have to close it without
documentation.
Yeah, to cover our own butts. But that was one of the things that with our contract, as it said, that we would ensure a clear title prior to closing. And so we just signed a different kind of contract with him, negating that. So, but we had several properties over the years that we didn't buy because we couldn't get clear title. And so after talking with diverse title before in the past, it's like, man, I wonder if those properties are still available. But I don't know. It's that they take the risk, but a couple of them were some pretty sweet deals. But
right,
and negotiating down judgments and judgments and court liens and stuff like that. It's always fun. I'll get his ask. So yeah. What was the one that Tyler? Who was it? Was it child support or was it IRS liens that Casey Smith said were the easy ones?
Child support, because they don't expect it to get paid ever. So if you go and you talk to them about child support, you can get up to, she was saying, up to 95% off on whatever the child support is. If you just reach out and say, hey, I'm willing to pay, $500 on this, $5,000 or $50,000 or whatever, they'll work with you on that. So if you see a child support lien, don't be afraid to contact the state and see if you can work out a deal.
Because we walked away from a deal one time because of the child support lien. And it was a sweet deal.
Actually,
but we didn't.
I talked to Chess about the child support.
Lien,
and he said that's one of the easiest liens to get off because they are all inaccurate.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'm not an attorney. I'm not whatever. But
way to disclaimer everything.
Yes, but that's what Chess told me. He said, because I have a client right now, and I have to say, I saw things on the credit report and stuff, and I'm like, whew. And he said, that's the smallest problem.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, good to know.
That's good to know because
now I'm going to go back and search my system for child support and see which one it was.
Right?
Yeah. No, because even judgments are really not hard to get removed because I actually, I had, when I was in a different office, I had somebody, you're good in credit. What about this and this? Because I was filed, I got served paperwork for judgment. And I said, well, you should have a good case because they are not, you don't have the paperwork and they need to provide paperwork in order to file a judgment. So she asked me to go with her to the courthouse and I walked with her to the courthouse. And honestly, I think you can still see the face imprint and the flow from my face when it hit the ground. That judge had no clue on what it meant, what kind of paperwork they needed. And there was an attorney sitting there and she was just talking. Well, this is what it is, and that's what I think it is, and that's how it is. Whatever. I almost got up and said, where's the paperwork? What are you talking about? Because there's no paperwork. There's no trace of paperwork. How can you? And the judge granted the judgment
to y'all, to your client,
to this friend, or this person. And I go like, well, that can be. If that's what judgments are about, then I believe that can be fun. That's an easy problem to resolve. You just really go for the paperwork. Ask for the paperwork from the judgment.
Right.
That was my experience, but this judge is not there anymore, so I don't know how the other ones handle that, but that's beside the point.
Gotcha. So we did negotiate down a judgment that was from like the 90s, and it was like ridiculous, like $94,000. But somebody dropped the ball and didn't follow up, and I got it negotiated down to like $4,000. And by the time we got it, Yeah.
It
Do I?
fall off after 7 years. Judgments fall off.
This one was not. This one was constantly accruing interest every single year.
If a judgment is filed by the court and everything, they usually fall off after 7 years. Public record.
Yeah, this one was still on there, and
And
it was
after 4 years
every
in
year.
Texas, you cannot. You cannot get it back. I mean, you cannot. What's it called? There's a word for it. I'll get to it.
Okay. Hey, Miss Charity, what do you have going on?
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, I was actually I had a question about wraps.
Okay.
In positioning for wraps.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out if someone already has a wrap or they already have a seller finance, can you wrap a seller finance? So
Okay.
like, let's say they purchased a house with seller financing, so they have an existing loan that is seller finance to somebody.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Could I buy that and wrap that, or no, I can't because it's already.
You're gonna. Amy said on Saturday that you're gonna ask for problems. That's what that August REI said.
Are you? Can you take over the first one sub 2?
Yeah.
No, this is hypothetical. I was talking to somebody that already had, and I didn't know if I could, so I wanted to ask you guys.
So you could sub 2 a seller finance.
Oh, you're saying take. Oh, I see what you're saying. It's already okay.
Take over the first one.
Yeah.
Take over the first one.
Yeah, I would buy the first one sub 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
Okay.
buying the property sub 2, and then you're going to wrap it to your end buyer.
Okay.
Is that what your thought was?
Yeah, my thought was, could I do that even though it's with a seller?
Yeah,
Since it's seller
you
financing, not a
because
bank.
you can even wrap a loan that has a loan. It's just all about disclosure. But I don't think that I would. It's almost like daisy chaining, like a deal that gets more muddled and come up with more problems. But if they're willing to sell it to, if you can just buy it subject to, then just buy it subject to. They already had that loan in place. Where'd you go? Somebody dropped out of the middle. Oh, Lydia.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, you were right here. Now you're.
Yeah.
Where'd you go? But I
Okay,
was talking to your little self instead of the one on the screen.
Okay, so I could. But you're saying if they had a wrap, like, don't do it if it's like if you're too many positions behind, you don't want to be.
I don't think that I would buy it and then wrap another. I don't think I would buy it on a wrap and then wrap it again. That might be
Too many.
much. Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I personally wouldn't take that risk.
If it's seller finance, just do it like a regular
sub 2. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I would do a sub 2.
Okay, I was just
yes.
Yeah.
And you need an RMLO, and you're gonna need August REI for your statements and stuff like that.
And who was the RMLO? Mindy Henderson. I don't have. See if I can get her information. Anyway, if you get to that point and you need it, let me know.
Okay.
Mindy Henderson is an RMLO, and then August REI can do the debt servicing.
Yeah,
okay.
You have to. That's a law. You have to.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then. I was just wondering
if you're an investor wrapping to an investor, if
you're
an
investor, it's different. Then you don't need one, and you don't.
Investor to investor, you don't need it, but to your end buyer, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you have an end buyer that you are gonna wrap it around, then you're gonna need an RMLO to disclose all the paperwork,
all the information. Okay.
Yes.
Okay then.
You have to get that serviced by a servicing company. You cannot service that yourself, otherwise you're gonna get in trouble.
Okay.
And you're asking for more headaches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then.
And theoretically, you need a decline letter from a different RMLO that they cannot get you a loan on it. Just FYI.
Wait, what did you say, Gabi?
Let's say it again.
They should get a letter that they cannot get a
traditional financing.
Financing or traditional financing, yes.
Oh, Okay.
It
The
could get-
RMLO.
that would be the perfect solution for you to be on the safe side.
Do they get that from the RMLO? Will provide them with the letter, or I
Yeah.
have to do it?
You have to get it there. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
You should have a different RMLO to see if they really cannot get financing, get that letter for your protection that you did your job diligently. And then you can use a different RMLO who can do the disclosures and finish up the paperwork.
Oh, okay.
And Gabby's an RMLO. She could do that for you.
Okay. Okay.
And I can also tell you if it's a good client or not a good client.
Okay.
Yeah. So she might not be able to get them a loan, but she need them a letter saying they can't get a loan so that you can owner finance to them.
Or I
Okay.
can tell you to what other steps you have possibility with. So yes.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
then we also have someone that if you have a property that you want to sell and you have a buyer that wants to owner finance it, but you need to cash out, they will actually they'll buy it from you and owner finance it to that buyer
Mhm.
if they
Oh.
meet certain qualifications. That
Mhm.
guy is amazing. Let's see.
Yeah. Let me know his info. There was a lady I was thinking about doing that with. She wanted to stay in the house. It was kind of complicated, but I didn't know if I could help her.
Now
But she did
that
want to own finance.
you don't want to let the person selling the house stay in the house because why are they needing to sell anyway?
Well, no, it was a situation where it was it was a probate situation. Her family was letting her stay there, but they were basically saying, "Hey, you're gonna need to buy this house.
Yeah.
We'll all sign it over to you, but you got to buy it."
Yeah.
And so then I was like, "Well, maybe I could just owner finance it to you if I could get someone that would be willing to carry the note for you to do that," because she didn't have the money to buy it outright, but her family was willing to sign everything over if she was willing
But
to buy
she would need a large down payment. I think it
Not.
was.
She does not. She does not. if you have like 4 siblings, okay, and
it.
they all inherited the house, and those 3 signing over make this one person buy the house, her 25% is good for the down payment.
Ah.
Oh.
So that they want to sell the house to her. They don't want to just give it to her, but they're willing to sell it to her for a certain price.
So she does not need to have the down payment. That
You
can
said
be,
she doesn't?
no, she does not.
Because her 25% it
It's a
depends on
down
what her
payment.
percentage is.
Yes.
So let me give you his number. You could go back to that deal and just find out like how many siblings are there, like what is her, because I dealt with one that she was the stepdaughter, but she was the closest, and it was the intention of the father for her to inherit the property. Everybody knew that, but then there was some discord in the family that came up after the fact, after he died, and then the family didn't come back around to it until it was too late.
Okay.
So she only got a sixth of her mother's, a fourth of her mother's, and none of her father's. So she only got this portion, where the other siblings were full blood related. So they got, their portion of their moms and their portion of their dads. But this little girl only got a portion of her mom's, and it was really sad. And she did all work, and it was a really bad thing. Okay. His number is Emilio at TL Global, and his number is
Wait, say
460.
that again. You're breaking it up. Say that again.
Emilio.
Oh, I see it now. Yep.
TL Global.
That's mine.
Okay.
I was going to send it to you on chat, but you're in your car, so you would have to figure out a way to copy paste it. You can write it down.
Okay. That's fine.
But they have to work with their realtors, and there are certain things that you can and can't do as owner financing. Like you can't make promises, and you can't tell them this, you can't tell them that. But these guys know how to do it. So you might just be able to connect them together, and help the family out, and maybe get some profit for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, just fill it out and see how they're wanting to, how much they want to sell it to her for, what her portion is, and because I don't remember, Gabi, do you remember? 30,000. I think there's a minimum also. He had a couple different programs available, and one of them was that the property had to be worth at least 150,000.
I think it was. Yeah.
And then they had to have 30,000 down.
I think it was 30% down.
I'm trying to, because it's 15% down. 15% down, because the house that I was asking him about was 200,000, and he said, "Yeah, we'll owner finance it if they have 30,000 down. That would be 15%, right?"
Oh, okay.
Yes. This is the wrong book. Anyway, I think that's what it was. I think it was 15%. So it's a little higher of a down payment, but he can cash you out. So.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So he would basically be holding the loan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So you would need to get it under contract for enough that you can make some money off of it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Tyler, anything else going on that you need to talk about?
Not at the moment. I just have a lot of development work to do in the next couple of days.
Yeah. But you're keeping your day job, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay. Well, now that the expo's over, we're getting ready for Randy Hughes, who's coming in May. And we're already on the hunt for a venue for another expo in probably this summer.
Okay.
August.
Yeah, because if we do it too late in the year, it'll be too close to the end of the year. And I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. He doesn't want to wait. Dennis doesn't want to wait a year. So, I don't know. We'll see. We're working on it. We got to find the venue, more centrally located venue. So, lots of good stuff going on. Okay. Well, that's it, guys. I am glad you all joined me today. And this will be on YouTube for a rewatch for anybody. And say hi. Thank you for watching. Sorry you missed us.
And thank you, Gabby, for your help. I appreciate it.
Do you have you need my number?
I think I had your car. Actually, can you put your number? Yeah, that would be great.
There you go.
Okay.
Just give me a call and say if you have more questions or something and you get more answers. Then let me know.
Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you, Karen. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And holler at me. You're here in Princeton, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. We need to go out for some lunch or something.
I need human contact.
I'll definitely give you a call. I'll give you a call for sure.
Yeah. Although we probably live 2 minutes from each other, but it would literally take her 15 minutes to get anywhere.
Yes, on 380.
Because of 380, yeah. Yes. I can get to her fast, but getting home, not so much.
No.
All right, Charity, Gabi, and Tyler, thank y'all so much. And sorry we missed Lydia, Ashley, and Terry. So, okay, guys, I'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.